Hey guys, it's Megan from Megabucksavingz. I am going to share with you guys my week's worth of dinner for a family of 4. I have stuff in the freezer. I had some of the thighs that I had prepped. I boiled some and then I baked some, so that way when I use recipes that I can use the seasoned ones that I baked in certain recipes and then the ones that I boiled in other recipes. And tonight the one that I'm using is the boiled thighs that I had frozen. All I did was put them in the microwave to thaw them out. You can thaw them overnight, whatever you want to do. Fried up an egg in the same pot, up some onion, broccoli, rice, seasonal rice vinegar. I put a little bit of that in there because I didn't have any like sesame oil or anything like that, but I just used regular oil to kind of lay in the bottom of the pan. Put some onions in there that I had. I had half of an onion, so I fried the onion up first. Then I used I think I had like a cup and a half of rice that I threw in a pan with the oil and the onion, and then I added in some frozen broccoli. I actually thawed the broccoli in the microwave before I threw that in the frying pan. Fried up the egg right next to the rice and all. I just kind of scooted it all to the side, fried up the egg, and then tossed that in, and then put a little bit of the soy sauce. And I actually use this liquid amino. It is a soy sauce alternative. I put a little bit of that in there. I just kind of did my own measurements. There's no exact measurements because this is all just thrown together. At the end, I threw the chicken in and then just fried it up a little bit on the stove. Now it's just on low. I put a lid over it, and I will show you that here in a second. Sorry, my lighting's not the greatest. This is just a prep for tomorrow, and all I'm doing is adding 3 cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt, a half of teaspoon of active yeast, and then 1.5 cups of warm water, and you just mix it together, and then all you just have to let it do is sit for 24 hours. At least that's what I do. I think you can do it at minimal of 8, but I would try to do it at least for 16 to 24 hours. And then, so I'm just gonna put a plastic bag over this and let it sit for the next 24 hours. And then when I come home from work tomorrow, I can bake it on 450 for 30 minutes in a Dutch oven with the lid on it, and then another 10 minutes with the lid off, and it will be great bread. And I got it from Frugal Fit Mom here on YouTube. I will link her below because I love her frugal recipes. Anything that you can make easier on your life, if you're a working mom or a working dad or just busy in general, both of these are really great, easy recipes. This is also really budget friendly because you're using all the stuff from scratch. It's less than a loaf of bread at the store. So I'm gonna put some plastic wrap on this. So now I'm gonna show you guys my chicken fried rice, using down what I have in my freezer and my fridge, so that way I am using all the ingredients in my home. And I will show you guys in tomorrow what I do with the bread before I put it in the oven. All it will be is taking this out, forming it in a nice ball, and putting a towel over it and letting it rest for about 30 minutes before putting it in the oven. So we are on day 2 for a family of 4. Gluten-free pasta here, and then I have some Prego traditional spaghetti sauce. I am heating my oven up to 450, and my Dutch oven is in here warming with the oven. Don't mind my messy, dirty oven. I am going to either clean it this weekend or next weekend because we are moving. This is warming, and while this is warming, I have water getting ready to boil, and then I'll drop the noodles in, with the pasta, I am going to just make a side salad here. And then I have 50-50 blend that I got for $1.75. I had the 75 cents off coupon. I'm pretty sure it was 75 cents. And then I have some tomatoes here that need to be used up. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle this on top of the salad. Egg, I have a hard-boiled egg left. And then I have a red onion here, so I will slice some of that up and put that on the salad. Make it really simple, and we have plenty of dressing choices and make it really easy. We'll have the bread with the pasta and the salad. So it's been 30 minutes and I took the lid off, so I'm just going to slide that back on in there and then set my timer for another 10 minutes. Alright, so here is the end result of the bread. I will take it out and cut it now. So it came right out of the oven and I transferred it over onto this plate to cool down, and then once it cools down I will go ahead and slice it. I'll just cut it in half and then probably just cut it in slices like this. Tonight's dinner is chili. I had a pound of hamburger already ground up and cooked with some onion, and I had that in the freezer. And so I'm just going to, straight from the freezer on my stove, thaw that out on the stove instead of putting it in the microwave. That going straight from the freezer to the stove, it keeps the flavor versus the microwave to the stove. I'm using whatever I have on hand in my cabinets, in my freezer, in my fridge, and that's what I'm using. I had a can of Bush's New Orleans beans, and I'm just going to use that in my chili. I'm just putting that in the chili. It's already flavored, so I might just add some seasonings to it, but it's going to be more of like the Cajun kind of taste to it. And then I have a diced tomatoes, the petite, and that's it, other than just adding either beef broth. I'm just going to throw things together, and then I have sour cream and I have cheese, and then I have bread left over from yesterday. So this is day 3 for a family of 4. So you'll see here that it is frozen, and I just have it on a low temp so it doesn't overcook or anything like that, and it properly thaws before I throw in all the other ingredients. Here I'm adding the tomatoes and the beans. I'm gonna stir that tomato paste, and I threw a little bit of that in there with some salt and pepper. And then now I'm just gonna add some beef broth, and the tomato paste will just thicken it up more like the chili. And the beans actually had onions and peppers in it already. Okay, so apparently I do not have any bowls left. I did not know that. So my son is getting the baby bowl, and then this one's mine, but it works. It's a bowl. So yeah, I just put it, cheddar cheese toppings, sour cream, and Ritz crackers cracked up, crumbled up onto the chili, and this is our dinner. It actually looks really yummy, and I'm excited to try it. So yeah, this is stuff just, again, that I have in my cabinets already on hand to use up what I have, and I'm gonna slice up some bread to have some bread with it. Today I am making cookies for dessert. I'm not sure what dinner will be today, but this is day 4 with a family of 4, and I am making lemon cookies with lemon cake mix. Idea on Pinterest. So I will try to link that below, and we're gonna have that for dessert. Okay, so here is tonight's dinner. All I have is leftover cabbage from the week, and it was less than half of a cabbage. So all I did was shred up carrots on top of here and then added some chopped up onions. I had less than a half of an onion, and I used 1 carrot. I shredded, sorry, my son's touching the screen. But I had 1 shredded up carrot on top of here, and then I just added some chicken. I had 1 large piece of chicken in my freezer, and so I just shredded that up, added that. So I'll add some soy sauce and salt and pepper and some other stuff, I'm not really sure yet, but we're just gonna fry this up and then put it over some rice noodles. Would be day 5 of a family of 4. I had a chicken, and so I'm making a roasted chicken, and I just cut up some carrots, onion, celery. I don't use the celery to eat, I just use it for flavoring. And then I just put butter inside the skin, and I think that makes the world of difference. You can put butter or oil or whatever on the vegetables if you would like. And then for seasoning, I use thyme, rosemary, garlic, lemon pepper, and then salt and pepper. And then I also used some seasoning salt for the top of it as well, just for the color. So that is it. And then I'll make some mashed potatoes and gravy. And I'll use the chicken broth from the chicken to make the gravy. All right, so chicken is done. I've already dug into it because the baby's hungry. So I had to cut up some chicken here already. While I was cooking it, I put the chicken broth and just spread it all over the top so it stayed moist. I used the chicken broth for my chicken gravy, and then I have mashed potatoes here. I always rule of thumb when I'm making food, so I'm saving and not wasting. I always do a potato per person, depending on the size of the potato and depending on the size of the kid. Anyway, I had 4 potatoes, and then I did 2 extra, so I have some extra mashed potatoes for the baby for dinners, so that way I can just whip him up something real quick and put a side of potatoes on there. He'll eat those up fast. I have my chicken gravy. I will either link the recipe below, or I will put in the ingredients that I used below, but simply it is butter, onion. From this, I just took out the onions, cut them up, and so I diced them up, put them in here with the butter, sauteed them for a little bit, put 2 tablespoons of flour, put a little bit of milk in there, and then added the chicken broth and some salt, pepper, some seasoning salt, and some garlic, and mix that all up. If I missed anything, I will definitely add it below, but it is the best gravy. I actually had to add some of my own chicken broth that I had in the refrigerator, so I added that as well. And then I did add just a little bit of water, but it's so good because it's the flavoring from the chicken. You can make your own gravy however you want. This is just the stuff that I had used on hand. All right, I also had half a thing of my bread left over, so I just cut that up and put some butter on it. Here is the end result. So for tonight's dinner, day 6 for a family of 4, I think I'm doing this right. But I have the sausage cheese puffs. I have the sausage cheese puffs for dinner, and I'm gonna make these. The first time I've made them, but I got the recipe online from another YouTuber. So I will show you guys the recipe, but here is the end result of mixing all this stuff together, and then I'm just putting them in ball shapes on the parchment paper. Just serve some fruit with it and maybe some yogurt. So here they go in the oven, 375 for 14 minutes. Tonight's dinner is sloppy joes. All I have in here is a pound of ground beef, and I have some onion. Put some onion in here, ketchup, mustard, brown sugar, barbecue sauce, Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of beef broth. You can put a little bit of tomato paste in there if you want. I usually don't. And then salt and pepper, garlic. But that is essentially all I add to my sloppy joes. So that's what's for dinner on day 7 for a family of 4. And I'll put some side salad and some fruit probably on the side as well. Also, I had some buns in the freezer, and so I just took out 4 buns for 4 people, and I'll probably have a half of one and give it to one of the other kids, whoever's more hungry, and I'll stick the rest of the 4 back in the freezer. Alright, so one kid will get mashed potatoes and gravy left over from the other night and some grapes, and then the other kiddo will get green beans that I had in the freezer. This is all I had left of my freezer, green beans,